down to the corner, back up to the point, across the Ballard, drops it into Keekly in the corner. Keekly is fouled. By number 23 in white, who is Joya Onspach. Freshman guard. And we have a drop into the post to the newly in the game, Aubrey Sina, who is a sophomore center. And she's able to put the ball up for a layup and gets fouled on the play. So possibility for a three-point play. Oh, she comes up a little short on that free throw attempt, but still makes it a two-score game. Montevideo quickly up the floor with the ball. And Montevideo travels again. The guards for Montevideo have had a real hard time with that. I'm sure at practice this week, the coach is going to work on some of those fundamentals, because that's frustrating plays to have. We have a scrum over the ball here by Addie Stummis and Megan Koosman. There's a jump ball is called. That ends up being Eden Valley's ball. Ends up in the hands of Keekly, who tries to pass it down to the post to Onspach, but it is, as they have been all half, every pass into the post. Montevideo is all over those passes. Ends up being called a jump ball on the scrum, and will go to Montevideo this time. 5-point game. Koosman brings the ball up the floor. Passes it to the top of the key. We've got to travel again. Same person, Magnuson. This time she was moving her feet before she dribbled the ball. That was a pretty obvious travel call. So that's good. She looked a little frustrated on that. Keekly attempts to bring the ball up where she is pressured by Koosman, who's doing everything in her power to bring them back in the game. And Koosman picks that ball and drives down the lane, steps around Keekly, and is able to get a layup in. It's 40-37 now for the Eagles, 1 score game again. And in moving the ball up the floor, the ball was passed to Sina, where she is fouled up close to the three-point line on an attempt, I think, just to get to the pass, but had to go through her. And Sina makes that free throw. Eden Valley is down to the 1-on-1 bonus on shooting, so she makes the first, so she's given the second free throw here. And she drains both of them. That's 4 points for her since she came in the game, and she is what's keeping the Eagles in this game at the moment as far as scoring goes. Well, could have called a travel on Magnuson again there. She moved her feet and then threw past the ball. She just doesn't quite have that alignment there, but she's, a sophomore. She's still learning the game a little bit, and so she'll get it. She's got all the skill set there, it looks like. Ball is passed down into the post to Laura Hearing, who in pivoting around ends up stepping out of bounds on accident. Turns the ball over. Now with 1.5 minutes left, Koosman brings the ball up from Montevideo. Ball is passed into the top of the key by Montevideo, where Magnuson is met by Sina, and Sina used just a little too much body on that one. And although she knocks the ball away, she's called for the foul. So Magnuson now will shoot 2. A little long on the first one, off the back of the rim, it kicks out. But she'll get another chance here. And now Kramer is in. senior forward for Sina. Magnuson long again on her free throw attempt. Stummis is bringing the ball up where she's under the press. Up to Kramer. Stummis passes across to Ballard, kicks it down to Keekly in the corner. And Montevideo is doing everything they can for pressure, and the ball is turned over there where Koosman gets a free run layup at it. And the ball is, she misses on the layup. And it's rebounded by both an Eden Valley and Montevideo player, who then, surprise, surprise, have a jump ball called. There's been a few of those in this second half. And so this time it's Eden Valley's ball. So now Eden Valley will pass the ball in. There's a little over a minute left in the game. So Montevideo is going to look to get pressure on quickly. We have a timeout called by I believe the timeout was by Eden Valley for the inbound play. So we'll have to see here what the coach can draw up. Tom Jansen is the head coach for the girls, assisted by Becky Keekly and Steph Borscheid, managed by Stella Brutger. All right, Eden Valley gets set here to pass the ball in a minute and 2 left in the game. Stummis to Ballard. Back to Stummis. Ballard brings it up across the half where she's immediately trapped. She is able to get that ball away to Kramer. To Ballard. To Keekly in the corner. Back up to Ballard. And you can hear the coach for Montevideo, Kylie Hearing, yelling, foul, foul, foul. They were looking to slow that around. They didn't want all that time coming off the clock. So now Ballard is fouled, and she will get to shoot bonus. If she makes the first, makes it a 6-point game. Still technically a 2-possession game, but it's getting harder. Have to be 2 threes to tie the game. Ballard shoots again. Oh, it's just a little bit long. The ball kicks out. Rebounded by Kramer. Oh. Kramer fouls Montevideo player in the rebounding attempt, which would be Magnuson. So Magnuson is going to get 2 free throw attempts here. First attempt by Magnuson is true. Brings it back to a 5-point game. Now Magnuson sets up for her second free throw attempt. And that one bounces around and comes out. Rebounded by Eden Valley. Keekly's in the backcourt looking to create space. She passes the ball up the floor to Kramer, to Keekly, up back to Ballard, and down low to Stummis. And then the ball is passed to Kramer in the post, who is then fouled immediately by Brianna Johnson of Montevideo. Kramer's first attempt is missed in the bonus, and so there it's rebounded now by Montevideo, who brings the ball up. 22 seconds left in the game. Magnuson is driving to the lane, and she is fouled by number 13, Laura Hearing. And they sub Emily Kramer out for Zoe Hush. It's Magnuson again shooting, and this time she hits true. That'll make it a 4-point game. These fouls don't help the Eagles here. That's the only reason that the score is even getting close. Otherwise, for the last little bit here, Montevideo's not been able to do much in their shooting. And the first is made, and the second is missed. Rebounded by Eden Valley, who gets it out to Amanda Ballard, who brings the ball up across half, where she's immediately fouled by Koosman, which will now bring it to 10. It'll be a double bonus situation for the Eagles now. Ballard here with a chance to extend the lead. 15 seconds left to go in the game. Ballard misses the first of her 2 free throw attempts. Ballard puts up that one and misses that as well. It's rebounded by Montevideo, who's got 13 seconds left to go. To pass it up the floor quickly. Driven down to the corner, given into the hands of Koosman, who looks to take a shot, but she's met there by Stummis. And it is put up by Magnuson to bring Montevideo to within 1 point. But it hits just before the buzzer and before it could even be passed back out of bounds for our throw-in. The buzzer went off, and so that is it for the game, and ended up being much closer than it looked like it would be. The score 43-42 for your Eden Valley Watkins Eagles. Join us here at 7 o'clock. Well, should have said not at 7. There's a boys basketball game coming up here. It's going to start here as absolutely as soon as they can get it to start. They were aiming for 7 o'clock, but I said join us at 7. I looked at 7:08. So it'll be probably about 10-15 minutes here before the boys basketball game starts against BBE. But come join us for Eden Valley Watkins boys basketball. Until then, I'm Mike Harrison. Thank you. Well, hello to all you who are joining us on live stream here. Welcome to the Eden Valley Walk-Ins Eagles game versus the BBE Jaguars. We're going to allow the in-house announcer here to do a little bit of announcing, and I'm going to do my best not to trip on him here. So I'm going to go quiet for a second and let him do the announcements, but welcome to the live stream. All right, here we are. Again, it's the EVW Eagles versus the BBE Jaguars. On the floor for the Eagles starting today's game. Is number 1, Braden Becker, 6'1" senior playing in the guard position. Number 11, Bryce Neiman, a 5'11" sophomore playing in the guard position. Number 3, a 6'1" junior playing in the guard position, Caleb DeRose. Number 5, a 6'4" forward who's a sophomore, Tate Kraft. And lastly, but not leastly, 6'3" forward, senior, Preston Langer, number 2. The Eagles get a quick score early on in the game here by Caleb DeRose off of the short jumper. And now it's BBE moving the ball around. Jaguars kick it back up to the point. 6 seconds left to go on the shot clock. It's dropped down into the block. They keep trying to pass around and find something. Finally take a desperation long 2-point jump shot, which banks and bounces around and falls in. Bryce Neiman has the ball at the point. He passes it off to Langer. Langer to Becker and down to Kraft, who scores a layup for the Eagles. Ball is batted around and eventually turned over and recovered as the Eagles recover the ball. Brought up quickly up the floor by Neiman, who gets down into the block goes up against Taylor Piper of the Jaguars and ends up laying it in. Score is now 6-2 for the Eagles. The Jaguars pass the ball around, looking for an open man. Drop it down into the post on the right side. Kicked back out to the three-point line where it's driven along into the key. Number 12, Austin Bird, jumps up to take a jump shot from center of the key and is fouled. First team foul for the Eagles. Burge makes the first shot. Burge or Berge. And misses the second one, which is rebounded by Kraft. Ball gets bounced around a little bit, ends up in Becker's hands, who bounce passes it down in the lane to Kraft, who ends up putting in the layup for two more. Ball is driven through the center of the key by number 1, Taylor Piper. He loses control of it and then regains control, and the ref ends up calling him for double dribble. It's a turnover by the Jaguars. Ball to Caleb DeRose on the wing. Passes it down into the lane to Neiman, who's attempting to work in the post, where he's met by a very sturdy number 32, Lance Rademacher. And Becker ends up taking a shot attempt that comes up a little bit short. We have a travel on the fast break up the other way by number 12, Austin Berge. Eden Valley ball. Neiman brings it up across the half court. This is to Caleb DeRose at the point, who drops it for Langer, who kicks it over to Becker, who takes a three-point shot that comes up just a little short off the front of the rim. BBE quickly up the other way, drop it into Rodemaker. He misses on the long jumper, and it's rebounded by BBE on 2 shot attempts and then a miss. And they have a third shot attempt that comes up a little short again. Caleb DeRose drives down the lane and takes it up against Piper. And Caleb DeRose is fouled on the shot attempt as it falls as well. So it's 2 points and 1 opportunity here for DeRose. We have a timeout called now by the Jaguars. 30-second timeout for the Jaguars. So allow me to introduce myself on this timeout. My name is Mike Harrison. I am with River of Life Church, or River Youth, and the system and everything that we do here is sponsored by River Youth, put together with it so that we can do the live streaming games for local schools. My sons, I've got 3 sons. They've all gone to Eden Valley. One's graduated now, and I've got 2 still currently here that are a little bit younger, 14 and 13. So we enjoy being part of this school district and having our sons go here. Feel real blessed to have our sons go here, and just a way we can support our school and give back to the community a little bit as a church. All right, DeRose sets up for his N1 shot attempt, and that was a pretty clean shot. DeRose has a real nice shooting touch. Jaguars bring the ball up the floor. It's driven down the post and kicked all the way across the court to the wing. Back up to the point for Rademacher. Swings it around to Piper, who tries to drive in the lane, where he's met by Becker, who's doing his best to stay in front of him, but was pushing him a little bit. So that's Becker's first foul. Going to be inbound pass from the baseline by the Jaguars. It's just shot up to the top of the point. Ball is passed around from the wing to the point. As Jaguars look to get something going, Piper takes a real long three-point attempt and misses the rim entirely to the right. Goes out of bounds, and now Eagles ball. So Eagles will look to pass it in, bring it up the floor as Neiman brings it up the floor. Neiman passes to the wing to Kraft, who goes to drop it into the lane to Becker, who's sitting on the post, kicks it back up to Langer. Cross to Neiman on the wing. Neiman dribbles it back up to the point to Langer, who takes a three-point shot. That comes up short and is quickly turned around the other way and passed into the lane to number 21 Hudson Reed, who's a 6'6" forward for the Jaguars, and he is able to lay it in. Tall kid. Ball's passed on to Kraft, who has it down in the post where he has the ball swatted a little bit, bobbles it, and ends up turning it over to the Jaguars. Jaguars take a three-point shot, and this one sails wide left. So one wide right, one right left. Next is likely to be right down the center. We have a substitution in. We have Matt Hearing in and Braylon Hiltner in. Substituting for Becker, and Braylon Hiltner quickly makes his presence felt and puts in a left-handed layup. So you have Langer and Neiman out. Herring will look to run the point here. BBE is moving the ball up the floor quickly, where the ball is passed up the floor quickly, but the Jaguars player that was being passed to was not looking, went right behind him and out of bounds. Eagles bring the ball up the floor. Hearing does. Now it's up to Hiltner up at the point. Dropped into Kraft in the lane, who does a little baby hook shot that falls in. The score is now 15-5 for your Eden Valley Watkins Eagles. Number 4, Aiden Rademacher, was driving down the lane, and his pocket was picked by Hearing. A very nice play. Hearing passes it off to Kraft, who passes it over to, or who puts up a three-point shot that goes a little bit left, misses. And on the ensuing rebound play, Becker fouled one of the players for the Jaguars. So they bring Becker out as that's his second foul and put Langer back in. So you now have Herring. Was Lance Rademacher, who does the driving left-handed layup. So in the game right now are DeRose, Hiltner, Langer, Neiman, and Hearing. DeRose drives down the lane and goes to put up a layup that he makes, and again is fouled on that pass, on that attempt. But he makes a shot and now count the and one. That makes the score 18-7 for your Eden Valley Watkins Eagles. There's a good battle going on down low between Hiltner and number 21 of the Jaguars, Hudson Reed. A little bit of bodies being thrown both ways, and the foul ends up being called on Hiltner. It was on the shot, so he's going to get 2 free throw attempts here. He misses the first. But he, misses the second. Looked like he was going to roll in for a second, but it actually rolls off to the right. Hearing brings the ball back up the floor. Over to DeRose in the wing. Down in the corner. Back up to the wing to Hearing. And in the corner to DeRose. He takes a three-point shot from the corner, which is a swish. So as his dad, Joe DeRose, would say, if you're counting it as NBA Jam rules, 3 shots made should be that you're on fire. And it looks like DeRose is on fire. Neiman looks to pass it in the lane to Hiltner, who's contested, but he managed to get the ball and kicks it back out to the point. It's now back in Neiman's hands, who drives through the center, and the attempted layup is a little strong. Hits the back of the rim and bounces out. Back up the floor quickly for the Jaguars, and in Piper's hands. Piper up to the point. Shot is attempted by number 24, Cameron Lowe, and it's a little bit strong and comes off to the right side. The ball is bobbled between Eden Valley and the Jaguars, and the ball is eventually knocked out of bounds by Eden Valley, so it's going to be Jaguars ball down low, as they'll look to pass into their own offensive zone. They kick it up on the wing to Piper, who is held by Neiman on the drive attempt. So that's going to be his first foul and the 5th team foul for the Eagles. Doesn't look like they're afraid to mix it up today. Piper's got a real fast first step. That was a layup shot attempt by Aiden Rademacher, went kind of in and out and bounced clear. Eagles bring the ball up the floor. It's DeRose on the point to Hearing, to Langer, to DeRose. Langer looks to shoot. He drives on the lane and does a layup attempt, left-handed layup attempt, but just a little strong off the glass, and spins out and away from the rim. So now BBE the other way. Piper with a really nice baseline play and the reverse spinning layup as he came from left to right and was able to lay that in. Cuts the lead a little bit down to 12 points for the Eagles. A little bit of jostling going on again in the lane between 23 and 21 of the Eagles. Is 23 and 21 of the Jaguars. And eventually the ball is moved around where it's tipped by the Jaguars. And it's tipped by the Jaguars back the other way, where there was a lot of jostling going on very quickly, and then back the other way again, where DeRose attempted to make a bounce pass on a 2-on-1, and the ball was kicked by the Jaguars player. So it's now inbound pass for the Eagles. Up around the top and then to the wing by Hearing, who drives on the lane and is able to beat his player for a drive to the basket and lays it in. Jaguars move the ball around to Piper, who's looking to see what he can do to get going. He gets trapped there by DeRose and Neiman. Ball is dropped into Rademacher, who's able to lay it in over the front of the rim. Score is now 23-11 for the Eagles, with 8 minutes left to go in the first half. Eagles move the ball around. DeRose right now on the wing. Passes it off to Hearing. Down to the corner for Neiman, who thinks about taking the three-point shot, but is met pretty quickly there by Rademacher. Hearing drives to the center, kicks it out to DeRose, who gets a relatively clean look. Takes a three-point shot from the wing, and that one is good. He is on fire. That one was for you, Dad Joe DeRose. Little NBA Jam call there, if you remember that from the Sega, Nintendo, and whatever else it was on. Ball is turned over by the Jaguars and quickly up the floor, where it's kicked over to the wing from, shot went up by Neiman, who was just a little bit left. Rebounded by the Eagles, kicked out to DeRose on the other wing, and he took a shot, and he is no longer on fire, unfortunately, as he missed that three-point shot. Jaguars are able to drive it in for a quick layup. It's now Eagles ball coming back the other way. Hearing moving the ball around. Passes it off to Kraft, passes it to Neiman then. To Langer on the wing, who takes a long three-pointer. That's even longer still and goes off of the backboard and rim at the same time and bounces right into Piper, who makes a really nice drive through the lane and a left-handed layup. Coach Jake Anderson is going to want to talk this one out as all of a sudden there's a little bit of fast break scoring here by the Eagles, and they're going to take a moment here to discuss what's going on. He's not going to like that. It's a 26-15 game here, and I'm going to take a 30-second break here. I'll let you listen to the music that's being played in the gym. And we are back. Eagles ball as they bring the ball up across the half court. Hearing does. Drives around to the left, kicks it out to Neiman in the corner. Neiman tries to drive baseline. He's able to get around Rademacher, but then loses the handle and turns it over. It's into Piper's hands, spins it around three-point line, sitting now at the point, back into Piper's hands. He drives and beats his player, Neiman, but is unable to make a layup. Rebounded by the Eagles and back the other way. Neiman goes up a little bit and almost travels, but he's able to keep his feet on the ground. Hearing drives to the center of the lane and somehow is able to spin that ball in off of a tough-looking layup attempt. Now, Jaguars pass that ball around. It's kicked out to the three-point line where Austin Berge takes a shot that comes up a little bit short. Rebounded by the Eagles and taken up back across half. So far, this has been a pretty good shooting performance by the Eagles. Langer takes it in where he attempts to lay it in left-handed, but he's well defended there by number 21, Hudson Reed. And back the other way, Lance Rademacher goes to take a shot, and he is met there by Kraft, who looks like he got a pretty clean hit on the ball, but maybe had the body hit the player on defense. Now we have Langer out of the game. And in for him is Hiltner again. Hearing brings the ball up the floor, is sitting at the point, picks up his dribble, passes it off to Hiltner, who passes it off to Neiman. Neiman's played quite hard there by Rademacher. Kraft's moving the ball around, looking to see what he wants to do. Hands the ball off essentially to Hearing. Ball ends up in the hands of Caleb DeRose, who kicks it off to Hearing again, looking to see where they're going to go. And with just 4 seconds left on the shot clock, Hearing is able to drive through the center of the key and lay it up to the left side of the basket. And another nice driving play by Hearing with a shot clock getting close to expiring. Jaguars move that ball around. Piper takes a shot from the right side of the top of the key and shoots a little long, and it's rebounded by the Eagles, who take the ball up the floor in Neiman's hands. Neiman loses the hand a little bit, but gets it back, and as he's going to turn around, He's hit quite quickly there by Rademacher, who bumps him with the body. And so now that was a foul on the Jaguars. That's their third team foul. Eagles take the ball again. 16 seconds left on the shot clock. Shot put up by Kraft on the fadeaway jumper from beyond the lane, and he comes up a little short on that. It's part of the problem with fadeaways is they're easy shots to come up short on. There's a bit of a scrum down in the low post as 21's holding the ball, and one of the Eagles players is able to get his hands on there. There's a bit of a scrum and wrestle match for that ball, and it ends up being called a jump ball by the referees, which is Jaguars' ball. Ends up in the hands of Pieper, who goes to take a layup, and he misses a pretty close left-handed layup. It was rebounded by number 24 of the Jaguars. Number 24 of the Jaguars. And he's not able to handle it. He's blocked and ball's knocked out of bounds by the Eagles. So now we have a foul additionally by the Eagles. It's now the third or fourth attempt here. It's going to be bonus shooting, which is the 1-and-1 bonus here. Neiman comes out for a little bit, and Braden Molitor, the 6'2" junior, comes in, number 23. First shot is made by Reed, and so he'll get a second shot. And that's the way the bonus works. When you're in fouls 7 through 9, you get a 1-and-1. Make the first one, get a second. Miss the first one, get no second shot. And then 10 fouls and beyond, team fouls, you get 2 shots automatically. So now it's Eagles ball as they bring the ball up the floor. It scores 30-18 with a little over 3 minutes left to go in the half. Ball is moved around as the Eagles look to find something that's a little bit open. Pass it around to Hearing, who's had a few nice drives. Hearing pops up for a quick 2-point shot. Comes up a little bit short. And Hearing, but it's rebounded by Kraft. Now it's in the hands of DeRose, who drives and kicks it into Hiltner. Was able to take a one-step bounce dribble and lay it in with his left hand up by the rim. He's got some good ups, Hiltner does. He is 6'5", and has some ups, so he's able to get up by the rim quite nicely. The junior. And we have another foul by the Eagles. They have definitely not been able to stay away from that. Kraft with another foul. This is second, team 8th. So again, we're going to the. This was on a shot attempt, sorry. So it'll be automatically 2 foul shot attempts. First one is made by number 4, Aiden Rademacher. Second one goes up, and that one comes up a little short, rebounded by Hiltner. Ball is brought across the half by Hearing. He drives down the lane, kicks it out to the right side to DeRose. It's just a little strong on that, but it's rebounded by Langer. Then put up again by Langer on a 3-point shot attempt. And then another driving layup attempt by DeRose. And then DeRose goes to try to get his own. DeRose tries to get his own rebound and somehow ends up being called for a foul for pushing him. So DeRose is over talking to the ref, trying to get a little bit of understanding. but it was a bonus shot. The first one's missed, so rebounded by the Eagles. Preston Langer with the ball, kicks it down to Hiltner, to Hearing, back up the wing to DeRose, who drives around, drops it in quickly to Braden Molitor with a quick layup. Nice heads-up passing play from DeRose. Hearing's guarding Piper, and as Piper's going by, Langer takes an opportunity and gets his ball in there, pokes it away, and then Hearing drives up the floor where his layup shot attempt is blocked by Hudson Reed. Eagles ball though, as Hearing will pass it in to DeRose for the quick 2-point jump shot, which comes up a little bit off. Quickly up the floor the other way as the Jaguars look for somewhere they can go. And there's a foul here by somebody. It's either going to be an offensive or a defensive. We're about to find out. It ends up being an offensive foul by the Jaguars on a charge. It looked like it could kind of go either way, but somebody stood there really well and planted their feet, and they ended up calling the charging call. And so now Langer drives the ball down where he tries to lay it in. He's just a little bit off on that left-handed layup. Piper drives down the lane and kicks it out to the corner. And we have a rebound for attempt by the Eagles, and somehow there's a push by 2-3 of the Eagles. It was Hiltner. And so it'll be 2 shot attempts now due to double bonus. So Piper takes the first and makes that one. Now as he gets ready to take his second one. Piper drains that, cuts the lead to 13 points. Langer passes it into Rose, who takes the ball up the floor. Rose drives across the top. Puts it in the hands of Langer and kicks it off to Hiltner. Back to DeRose as they look for somewhere to go. Jake Anderson is going to call a timeout. Nope. Looked like he was yelling for a timeout. It was actually a foul call on the Jaguars. And number 25 fouled Langer as he was trying to move across and stop him from entering into the paint. Ball's in Langer's hand on the wings. There's 4 seconds left in the half. Langer drives, lays it in left-handed right before the buzzer. Bring the lead 36-21 for your Eagles. Well, that is your first half of Eden Valley Walk-Ins Eagles basketball as your Eagles go up 36-21 over the rival Jaguars. Your halftime is coming now. We are going to step away from the mic for a little bit here and let the halftime ring out. And thank you for joining us for EVW Eagles basketball, and we'll be back with your second half of action in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the second half of Eden Valley Walk-Ins basketball. We are today having the Eagles play the BBE Jaguars. We're currently set to enter the second half with the Eagles up 36-21 over their neighbors here. Not quite neighbors, but pretty close. And we have Becker in the game passing it in to Neiman. We've got Becker, DeRose, Kraft, Neiman, and Langer in the game to start the second half. I believe it's the same group that started the first half. Shot goes up from the point by DeRose. A little bit wide left. And on the ensuing rebound attempt, it's knocked out of bounds by Kraft. Jaguars move the ball around the other way. Looking for someone there. Rademacher's got it now. He passes it around, puts it in the hands of Piper. Piper spins around and puts up a fadeaway jumper that comes up a little bit short. Neiman quickly the other way, down in the lane. Takes a fadeaway jumper himself that rims in and out and misses, rebounded by the Jaguars. Ball is quickly moved up to the floor and into the post for the Jaguars, where Kraft contests 2 shots in a row. That has number 4, Aiden Rademacher, miss by a little bit. He got pretty frustrated, though, by the pretty clean-looking plays. Quickly the other way, where Neiman is able to lay the ball in and get 2 points, extending the lead to 17. Number 25, Owen Roaring, puts up a 3-pointer quickly the other way for the Jaguars, cutting that lead to 14. Langer has the ball up at the point. Hands it off to Becker, who swings it down into the corner for Kraft, where Kraft, who is lightly trying to pass the ball back to Becker, has the ball taken away by number 12, Austin Berge, and as Berge was laying it in and Kraft chasing him, they called Kraft for a foul on that layup attempt. Berge's going to shoot 2 now. First shot up and made by Austin Berge. Hiltner comes in and replaces Kraft. Berge misses the second shot, but as it double rims around, Hiltner's not able to rebound it as he timed for the first bounce on the second. Ends up in the hands of the Jaguars players. Now Aiden Rockemeyer does his best to take the ball in from down low and comes up a little short on another layup attempt. Rebounded and back the other way by the Eagles, where DeRose drives baseline and goes to take it up, and he is fouled pretty hard there by the Jaguars. And so now it is a two-shot attempts here for DeRose. A few of the Jaguars fans were not happy with that call, but it seems like the refs have been calling pretty consistently all game on anything that seems to be any kind of bumping and pushing at all. DeRose hits the first of 2 free throws. Jaguars bring the ball up the other way. Swung around onto the wing. Back to the point, now to the other side, to the right side wing, to Piper's hands, where he drives, spins around, and ends up taking a fadeaway jumper layup attempt, and it's just a little off his mark. Piper's been able to get almost any shot he wants, but he's just been a little off tonight, otherwise damage would be a little bit worse. Langer drives down, passes it off to Hiltner, who kicks it back out to the corner to Langer, who goes to shoot it, and is off just a little bit, rebounded by Rademacher. Jaguars the other way. brings the ball up the floor. Jaguars moving the ball around, looking for an opening. Piper passes to the point to the other Rademacher. And Piper takes a shot from the top of the key. Nice tall jump shot that he drains. Score is now 39-27 as the Jaguars cut that lead to 12. Neiman brings the ball up the floor. A lot of yelling going on by Jaguars fans. I'm not entirely sure what just happened there. Austin Berge did a baseline layup attempt, but looked to me like he took 3 or 4 steps. They didn't call it though. He missed the layup. Back quickly the other way, where Becker is able to get a layup from the left side. Jaguars moving the ball around. Berge tries a layup attempt and misses. Rademacher is able to get the rebound, tries to pass a baseline back to Berge, who mishandles it, and it ends up out of bounds. It's now Eagles ball. DeRose to pass it in. Hearing comes in for Neiman. So DeRose to pass it in to Hearing. Hearing and DeRose bring the ball up the floor. Becker to Langer, who drives down, kicks it out to DeRose. DeRose drives in to the top part of the lane and lays it in over the front of the rim. Back the other way, and ball's passed in for a layup for the Eagles, or for the Jaguars rather. DeRose with a 3-pointer. He's been just a little bit off since his early hits. He needs to get on fire again. Rebounded by the Jaguars, back the other way. There's been some complaining by the Eagles bench about traveling by the Eagles coaches, which I think I've seen a few of them myself now. So, but the refs aren't calling it, so maybe they're seeing something different. Eagles move the ball around. Hearing drives, kicks it to DeRose. DeRose drives to the lane, where he's fouled in the lane by Rademacher, who's holding his arm as he tries to drive into the center of the key. Anderson again going over to plead his case here a little bit regarding some, I don't know if it was for specifically for the traveling stuff or if he thought DeRose should have maybe been shooting 2 and not have it on the floor on that one, but the ref had called it on the floor. Eagles inbound pass to DeRose from the corner. Ooh, who rims it in and out from 3. Rebounded by the Jaguars, who now are looking where to go with the ball. Berge gets the ball up in the points. Moving around, trying to find somebody open. Piper drives baseline, and again is able to reverse lay it in off of the baseline play. Second time he's been able to do that play, which is pretty nice. DeRose moves around with the ball. It's at the point, passes it off to Langer, who hands it off to Becker. Becker drives it in, and Becker's able to spin around and lay it in. And now the Jaguars players are getting a little feisty as it looked a little bit like Becker might have traveled on that play. But it kind of has gone both ways on a couple of those because from my point of view, it looked like he could have traveled as well. But they're calling that consistent. So Eagles bring the ball back up the floor off the missed layup attempt here by the Jaguars. We have a foul here by 21 of the Jaguars, and the entire crowd over here is getting quite heated and upset. And so a little bit upset here, but it was a foul on the floor by the Jaguars on the block. Ball is brought in, and Eagles now have the ball up at the top of the point. There's a lot of players, a lot of fans here who are yelling, and I apologize if you heard some choice words coming through from the fans. They have us sitting in the gym, where we call the game from. We're right next to the visiting fans, and there's not a lot we can do about that, so we get to be part of all the experience. DeRose gets the ball, fakes a shot, drives into the lane, and lays it up. Nice play by DeRose for 2 points. Jaguars back the other way, looking to pass it in. Pass attempt to the post is contested by the Eagles and then eventually turned over out of bounds by the Jaguars. It's now Eagles ball. We have a timeout coming for the Eagles, I believe. Oh no, timeout is by the Jaguars. I think he's going to try to calm his team down a little bit. There's a little bit of stuff going on here where they're doing stuff. I played high school basketball for all my high school career on a real competitive team. Now I'm from way up north, so nothing close to here. But we took our basketball playing quite seriously often, and so I know what it's like to begin to blame the refs for everything going wrong. When things seem to landslide, but in my belief, I also refed basketball at a high school level for quite a while. In my experience, the refs do their absolute best that they can. They don't get every call right. Sometimes they make the wrong call. Sometimes that call goes against your team. Sometimes it goes a couple times against your team. But I think we have to do our best to support refs and do things, although my wife likes to remind me that sometimes I'm not the best at supporting refs, which is true. So I have some empathy for the fans here. That's the way it goes sometimes. All right, Eagles bringing the ball back up the floor here. If anything, it's definitely got the Jaguars fans, in the visitor section here wound up, as you can hear them chanting defense. DeRose in the post, passes it back out to Langer. Langer goes to take a three-pointer. Langer airballs that three-pointer. Neiman attempts to bounce it off the legs of a Jaguars player, but he comes up a little high, and the Jaguars player actually catches it, so runs it back the other way. And now it's Jaguars ball as they move it around the point. Looking for some buckets. Piper again with another shot that's just a little bit off. And again, both Piper and DeRose have been a little bit off for part of this game. Had they not been out, this score for both sides would be quite higher. But this is the way it goes. In basketball, your shooting goes hot and cold. And sometimes you can't help but hit everything, and sometimes you can't catch a break. But 25, Owen Roaring, that's his second three-pointer for the Eagles. Cuts the lead to 13. 9 minutes left in the second half here for this game. Herring drives the ball in. Kicks it off to DeRose, who kicks it off to Langer, who's looking to get something going. He's contested there by Roaring. Langer goes to lay it in, and it's contested, and he misses on the layup. Ball's passed down quickly the other way to... That was a great play by Neiman. I apologize. I went silent there for a second because I was watching Neiman on the drive, being chased by number 21, Hudson Reed. Hudson Reed actually had great timing and went up to block the layup attempt on the fast break. And Neiman was able to hold the ball away, pause from trying to lay it in, and controlled it and was able to make a clean shot attempt. that went in the favor for Neiman. He was able to lay that in past a well-defended play. The other way, we had a block there by Hiltner, as it was taking forever to tell that story. We had a block there by Hiltner. And then going the other way, DeRose went to drive it in and DeRose got fouled. So 2 shot attempts. We got fans getting even chirpier now, which is always fun. DeRose missed the first of his 2 free throws. And he missed the second of his 2 free throws. DeRose is just a little off on his shots right now. Score is 49-34. Jaguars look to get something going. They pass it in the lane to number 21, Hudson Reed, who's fouled pretty hard there by Hiltner, and with the bucket falling in. I think that was a pretty good call by the ref. And now Kraft comes out. Score is 49-36. On the end one attempt here is made. Cuts that lead down to 12. Herring brings the ball up the floor. Throws it up court to Neiman on the right side. Neiman looking to get something going on where he's met by Berge. Neiman tries to drive around baseline, but Berge's got great position. Neiman is looking to get Berge off of him, and he drops his shoulder into him and pushes him. And they call an offensive foul on Neiman with that. It's a 3rd team foul. And it is a turnover, and now Jaguars ball. Piper brings the ball up the floor. Passes it off to Berge. Down on the wing. Back up to the point. Piper again. Piper drives right, where he's contested by Neiman, where they're going to call him for a foul on a shot attempt. Neiman disagrees with that. Two shots attempts here for Piper. The Jaguar fans were plenty loud when it wasn't going their way. They're awful quiet, not congratulating the ref on the calls now, which is, well, what one would expect, right? Piper makes 1 of 2 shots. And timeout is called by the Jaguars. 11-point game. Neiman was brought out of the game, and I believe Becker was brought back in for him. So we've got Hearing, Becker, DeRose, Langer, and Hiltner. We have a reaching attempt by the Jaguars on DeRose as he came around from behind and tried to get his arms in there. DeRose passes it into Herring. Herring moving the ball around the floor. They're going to call an offensive foul on, or no, they're going to call a defensive foul again on Berge. This is second and less than a minute. He plays pretty hard, but I think they're trying to slow down the contact here and lessen it. And Berge was playing on Hearing pretty hard. DeRose has it up at the point where he's met by Rademacher. Langer drives the ball in, kicks it out to Hearing. Out to Becker again. 3 seconds left on the clock. Becker takes a shot and drains a three as the buzzer expires. Great shot by Becker. Had to make something happen right there. Score is now 52-38 with just over 6.5 minutes left in the game. Jaguars looking to get something going here as they have it up in the point, spinning around to the wing. Berge takes a three-point attempt. It's wide left. Becker driving the ball up the floor where he's met again by Berge, who tried to reach in and knock the ball away. Definitely got to say he's an aggressive player. That's his third foul here in less than 2 minutes. Definitely looking to get something going here. Play some aggressive defense. Well, that was a pretty fair call by the ref. Hearing drives the ball down. Kicks it out to Becker, who swings it back up to the wing to Langer. Langer now drives through. Tries to lay it in. Just a little strong on the layup attempt. And goes over the top of the rim. Into the post on a shot attempt by, I believe that was Reed, where he's contested by Hiltner and is unable to get things going. DeRose has the ball. DeRose tries driving through the lane, goes to take it up, and he is fouled there by Piper Rademacher. Is called on Rademacher, so he'll get 2 free throw shots here. See if DeRose can get his shooting touch. He's a pure shooter, and there we go. Pure shooters are either really on, and when they're off just a little, they're just off. And he was really hot to start the game. He's been off a little bit other than layups since, but he comes clutch with 2 free throws there to bring the lead up to 16 points. Jaguars drive the ball up the floor. Eagles looking to be aggressive on defense. They pass the ball around. Berge goes to lay it up where he is blocked from behind by Hearing. Probably could have been a foul call, but looked relatively clean. Ball went out of bounds though by Hearing, and so it's Jaguars ball. 20 seconds left on the shot clock here as the Jaguars have to get something going. They drop it in the post. Rademacher was looking to hold his place, and Langer was sitting behind him, pushing on him. So they called that a foul, which was probably accurate. Rademacher's a big, strong kid, and he was pushing back. They bring Kraft back in to replace Langer. Jaguars looking to get something going here. About 10 seconds left on the shot clock now. Piper drives left. Kind of goes out of control, but manages to get the ball into Rademacher's hand. He takes a short jumper from just inside the foul line and makes a shot. Eagles come back with the ball the other way. Hearing to Kraft to Becker, who takes a 3 from the corner. That comes up just a little bit off, but it's rebounded by Hiltner, who passes it in, and that shot is defended well by the Jaguars. Piper takes a shot, but he's a little bit long. On the loose ball, there's a foul called, loose ball foul, and it's on Becker, they call it. Oh, no, they called that shot on, it was number 1 on number 1, but it was called actually on the Jaguars. And so it's a now in the bonus, 1-and-1 bonus here for the Eagles. And Becker misses the first one. And now we have an over-the-back foul by Kraft as they were both trying to rebound. That was Kraft's 5th foul. And so now Langer comes back in for him. 4.5 minutes left in the game. Score is 54-40. The Jaguars look to get something going here. Move that ball around. Pass it down low to Rademacher, who drives in along the base and is able to get a pretty clean layup look. Now the Jaguars are pressing, but DeRose is able to bring it up the floor, get it across half. Kicks it up to Langer, to Becker, to Hearing. Hearing drops it off to Hiltner, who goes up for a shot, but he has his hand on the ball, and they end up calling a jump ball, which is not something I've seen much of when somebody's in midair and they get their hand on the ball. They usually just call it a block, but they call it a jump ball, and it's now Jaguars ball. Jaguars have the ball. They bring it up the floor. A little under 4 minutes left. Jaguars start moving that ball around, trying to find somewhere to go. Jaguars drop it in. It is driven along the baseline by Berge. Berge is contested there and misses the free throw. There's an over-the-back called on the Eagles bringing the ball up the floor. Langer thought that he was not across the half, but the refs called him across the half. Jake Anderson is reminding them to just play defense, not worry about that last call. Ball is dropped into Reed, and he's able to lay it in over Hiltner. DeRose has the ball. He's looking to bring the ball up the floor. He's met in a trap, but he passes it quickly across court to Neiman. Out to DeRose, who comes again a little bit short on a three-pointer. Berge brings the ball up the floor. Is brought into the lane by Reed, who makes another shot. It's now an 8-point game with a little under 3 minutes left to go here. A few quick scores here for the Jaguars as they're a little bit off on the three-point shots. Looks like Becker will come back in the game. So we typically have one of two guys calling these games, the basketball games. We've been doing a little bit of the girls' games, not as much. We did call half of one today. We had some issues with our soundboard, so it took us a little bit to get it going. But once we got the soundboard kind of working properly, we called half that game. We did stream the whole game, but just didn't call it until halftime. But we typically have one or two of us calling games. It's either myself, Mike Harrison, or Joe DeRose calling games. Joe prefers often to watch his son Caleb play, of course, instead of call games. But I'm also a sound man for our church and involved in various other things, and so I'm not always able to. And so Joe and I kind of split those duties. So we're going to typically get one of the two of us for most men's basketball games, football games, and some of the girls' basketball games as well. But it's a pleasure to be here doing this with you as the Eagles bring the ball up the floor. Neiman passes it off to Becker, who drives it in. Is able to lay the ball in. I think they called a foul on it. They called the foul on 25 White. It was Owen Roaring, and they counted the shot. So now it's he gets one shot here for the end one, which he makes. Brings it back up to an 11-point game. The Eagles need something like that to go. A little over 2.5 here left in the game. Berge brings the ball back up the floor for the Jaguars. They move around, drop it in the post to Rademacher, who just comes up a little short on that attempt. Defense was played there by Langer. There's a little bit of pressure here by the Jaguars as they knock the ball away from Becker, who was trapped by three people and couldn't get the ball off. Piper drives the ball down the floor. He's able to pass it off to Rademacher. Pass out to Roaring. And it's It's rebounded by Hiltner, who was fouled there by Reed, who was not very happy with that foul call. So now it's going to be double bonus. The foul was on DeRose. So DeRose now will get to shoot two. Makes the first one. Now DeRose looking to shoot his second one here. And he gets the shooter's roll in for that one. Score is now 59-46 for the Eagles. So up by 13 again. Ball is dropped quickly into Reed, and he's able to lay it in without much contestation there. Neiman brings the ball up the floor, and there's pressure there, so he has to pass it off quickly to DeRose. And Neiman and DeRose looking to get something going here. Berge is playing defense on Neiman, and Berge fouls Neiman on the drive to the basket. I think they're going to call that one on the floor, so he should get his 2 free throws. Neiman makes one. And Neiman sets up to make his second here. He comes up a little short. Langer got a hand on it, but it's rebounded by Piper. Piper drives the ball down the court. He does a spin around little jump shot, and a timeout is called quickly by the Jaguars after the make. It's a 10-point game with a minute and a half left. Full timeout called by the Jaguars. 10-point game here. And again, we thank you for joining us for this live stream game. It's a lot of fun to do this. Still learning how to call basketball, and we called some football games, which was fun. We had some internet issues for football, so the AT&T tower was down for a couple of weeks, and we weren't able to call a couple of football games. And once we got it up and working, it was a lot better. But did some calling in those, and then switched to basketball, and it's wild, the pace difference and the fun of calling it. But it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to get to support the school and do this. And so we thank you for tuning in and supporting us. We wish you guys a happy new year. All of you that are watching or listening online, wish you a happy new year. May it be your best year yet. All right. Bryce Neiman to pass the ball in. He passes it into Hearing. Hearing starts to bring the ball up forward where he's met by a couple of Eagles players. They bring it up the floor, and DeRose is able to get down low and move the ball around. Just looking to control the ball here. Ball is passed to Neiman. Well, Neiman is quickly hit by Owen Roaring out beyond the three-point line. So Neiman will get to shoot two now. The idea, of course, in these situations, unless you have a clean shot, put the ball in the hand of your shooters. That way, if they're fouled, you have your best chance of getting points on the free throw shots. Neiman makes the first of two, sets up for the second. Comes up a little bit short on that second one. Rebounded by the Jaguars. 11-point game, 1 minute and 7 seconds left as they cross the half. So to Berge. On the three, Berge's a little long. Ball is batted around between Langer and Rademacher and ends up getting knocked out of bounds by Rademacher. Neiman to pass the ball in. He's got Hearing and DeRose to pass the ball to. As he's pressured there. They're looking to move that ball up the floor. DeRose has the ball. He's coming up. And then Jake Anderson doesn't like the way it's coming up the floor, so he calls a timeout to give his players a chance to get a clean timeout. when you call the timeout as you're coming up, if you're sitting baseline and you're getting surrounded, or you get trapped anywhere really on the floor, one of your best assets in that moment is to call the timeout. It shuts everything down, and you end up getting the ball for an inbound pass out of bounds. Makes a big difference when you can do that. And so now the Eagles will get an inbound pass here. Of course, the Jaguars will do everything they can to stop this from happening. Rose to pass it in. He passes it backcourt to Hearing, where Hearing is immediately fouled by Reed of the Jaguars. And again, because we're at 10 fouls, Herring is automatically going to get 2 shots here. It's already an 11-point lead, as Herring is going to look to do what he can to extend that lead. Oh, Herring is a little bit left on that first one as it rolls off the rim, hits the backboard, and out of the way. So Herring will set up again for a second here. This one, nope, rims in and out. 11-point game, 45 seconds left as they come across the half. Jaguars probably not much can get going unless they can score quickly here, but they don't. Piper tries to drive baseline and put it in again, and he's not able to complete that as he was contested a little bit. He's a little upset as he feels like he got hammered around down below, and there was definitely 3 Eden Valley players around him. He probably did get bumped around, so. But he fouls DeRose as DeRose grabs the rebound. Now DeRose misses his first free throw. Langer into the game for Hearing. What a defensive presence there. DeRose on his second shot attempt. This one he makes. Brings the score to the lead to 12. Berge takes the ball up at 30 seconds left to go in the game as he crosses half. 12-point lead by the Eagles. Piper gets a hold of the ball, takes a 3-point shot that's long. And the rebound goes to Hiltner of the Eagles. And Piper, in trying to reach for that rebound, is called on fouling on the reach-in on Hiltner. So now Hiltner will shoot 2. Misses the first of 2. Hiltner sets up for his second free throw attempt, and that one he makes. Scores now 63-50 for the Eagles. As the Jaguars bring the ball back, they've got Piper out of the game now due to foul trouble. Berge looks to get set up. He passes it off to Reed, who takes a 3-point shot and misses. Neiman rebounds the ball. There's 5 seconds left to go in the game. Neiman slowly brings the ball up the floor as the Jaguars aren't going to contest it anymore at this point. And Neiman just dribbles it out. It is final score is your Eden Valley Watkins Eagles 63 and the BBE, the Belgrade Bruin El Rosa Jaguars 50. Thank you for turning into your Eagles basketball, and it's another win. God bless and have a great night.